neighbors! This video is intended to provide clear, shared information about how our HOA dues are calculated and to support an informed community discussion moving forward. In January 2025, the community asked the finance team to do 3 things: provide transparency about how our HOA dues are calculated, explain the rationale for our current dues breakdown, and make a recommendation for moving forward. After months of research, we found that it's unclear how we arrived at our current dues structure. There's no consistent memory of how the breakdown was established and no documented community decision. Because this history is unclear, the finance team believes the community should actively, rather than passively, decide what our dues structure should be. There are 3 main approaches a community can take to splitting dues, as you can see in this graphic. In the flat rate payment model, 100% of dues are divided by the count of the houses. 0% is divided by square footage. Every unit pays the same regardless of size and/or number of residents. The values emphasized in this model are that all households have the same financial responsibility, governance rights, and access to shared amenities. There's also a value for simplicity and cost sharing with this model. In the square footage model, 100% of the dues are divided by square footage, and 0% goes towards a flat rate. All costs are distributed proportionally by size. Our units range significantly in size from 666 square feet to 2,431 square feet, which is a 3.65 times difference. The values emphasized in this model are that square footage reflects each household's share of the community's total private space, economic accessibility for households with smaller units or budgets. Larger units represent a greater share of the community's total asset value, and cost per square foot fairness. Without a square footage component, small units would pay 3 to 4 times more per square foot than the largest units. In the hybrid or mixed approach model, which lies somewhere in between, it's a combination of flat rate and proportional elements coming together. The values emphasized are balancing competing principles of flat rate and proportional allocation, recognizing both shared community benefits and individual space usage, seeking fairness between different unit sizes, and maintaining community cohesion through moderate solutions. At the August 2025 meeting, the community members did an exercise that asked various questions about dues splits, and most people agreed with the statement, "I believe there should be a mix between square footage split and equal split." In a separate question, there was a slight leaning towards disagreeing with, "I believe the difference in dues should be minimized between large and small homes." In our decision-making, we are using square footage as a proxy for a house's value. We are not using square footage to tie to specific budget line items because there's not a clear correlation between them. For example, the paint on an A unit costs more than the paint on a B unit, and the insurance costs are more for an E unit than an A unit. And at the August meeting on this subject, the community members told us they value simplicity. Because of this, it's futile to have square footage be anything except a proxy for financial value. Larger houses are more valuable assets and represent a greater share of community property value. Our CC&Rs have language that addresses the dues split, but it is unclear if we have ever followed that breakdown. The CC&R split is geared more towards half the expenses being split equally and the other half being split proportionally. One of the goals of this discussion is to intentionally decide whether or not to align more closely with the CC&Rs in regards to dues distribution. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. We encourage you to learn more in the summary link included in Part 1 of the survey, which goes into more detail about each of these points. After that, please take the survey and share your thoughts with the finance team so that we can all make the best decision for the group together.